What's up everyone? Well, where to begin? Firstly, sorry for the slow pace with uploading. I've been pretty busy with my work and stuff, and it's only going to get more difficult since I got final exams approaching and I gotta do well in those. Secondly, as you can see, this masterful work of art right before your eyes was made by my boy Eon Blitz 47. A huge shout out to him. I'm sure you all know him. He's in my featured channels list, and if you don't, please go ahead and check him out. It's the least he deserves. Last but not least, I've got a PO live that I did with some friends coming up soon, but before that, there have been a bunch of people asking me about the Talonflame set that I used for my last video, so I would like to share that with you all. And yeah, I gave it more refined EVs as opposed to what I used back in my PO Live, mainly because I felt the extra speed was needed while still being able to produce similar results. And anyways, moving along from that little introduction that I just gave, onto the analysis of this unique Talonflame set. One of the biggest Talonflame counters is opposing Heatran, which are able to switch in on its fire and flying stab moves. Have you ever come across a Heatran on your opponent's team while you were using a team built with Talonflame, and you were just sitting there like, okay, I gotta get rid of Mr. Hothead so that Big Bird can come in here and put in some work and finish off the team? Well, never fear, because all of that's about to change. This set is specially designed to take down teams that have Heatran as its only answer to Talonflame. As you may already know, there are two main ways to beat Heatran with a Talonflame. The first would be using a natural gift berry technique, where you'd attach a berry that is super effective against Heatran when you use natural gift, and it would do super effective physical damage. However, it comes with a cost of 1 use per battle, which is really, in my opinion, unreliable against cautious or smart opponents, as well as your own miscalculated timing of the move's use. The second way, which is the more reliable way in my opinion, is the way I'll be showing you today, which is actually using a mixed Talonflame set more on the specially attacking spectrum with hidden power ground, which can do surprisingly well against Heatrans, in my opinion. I will talk about that right now. Let's take a look at the moves we got here. We got Fire Blast, as opposed to Flare Blitz, which is better for a mixed Talonflame of this sort, mainly because it's not going to take as much recoil damage. We only really need the power for Fire Blast has to offer, based on a power level. I'll dive more into that with the damage calculations coming up soon. Furthermore, we got Brave Bird here for priority, because for Talonflame it's always a good idea to keep Brave Bird for some nice and powerful priority. Roost is there so that we can heal off of any damage that we take. Plus, since this Talonflame has Life Orb as its item, it's great to be able to regain the HP that we lose from the extra damage, and not dispose of this bird too quickly, because Talonflame is a really good threat against opposing teams. And finally, Hidden Power Ground is the move that makes this Talonflame set so unique, as it gives this valiant creature the ability to beat well-known counters such as Heatran. Well, it's not really a counter anymore. This is more of like Heatran's more of a check now, since we have a way of beating Heatran with Hidden Power Ground. So, anyways, now that we explained the moves, I shall explain my thought process on the EVs, as well as provide a variety of damage calculations, which I will include in the description. We got 168 attack, max special attack to make Fire Blast and Hidden Power Ground nice and powerful, and 88 speed to be able to outrun max speed base 91 Pokemon, such as Landorus Therian form, with a naughty nature to make Brave Bird more powerful as a stab priority move. Before I get into the damage calculations, let me talk real quick about some of the teammates this guy appreciates. Since Talonflame is a very offensive Pokemon in general, you're going to want to keep a Pokemon that can deal hazards. Multiple hazards are preferred. For example, Deoxys defense, or even Smeargle for that matter, can set up both Stealth Rocks and Spikes, which is great for Talonflame since more and more residual damage keeps getting inflicted on your opponent's side, means making Talonflame's job a lot easier, just to clean up with Brave Bird and stuff like that. Because Talonflame is extremely weak to Stealth Rocks, you're going to want to keep something that can, get rid of hazards from your side. If you decide to use a teammate that can only deal Stealth Rocks, keeping a Defogger on your team is the best solution for this, since you're not going to be putting a lot of work to get up multiple hazards, and if you have Defog, you can just get rid of hazards easily and put your own Stealth Rocks back on your side anytime you want. A few examples of good defoggers to pair with this Talonflame set are Latios, Latias, even Empoleon for that matter is good paired with this thing. Since Heatran is no longer a worry, you still have to be able to deal with other main Talonflame counters, such as Rotom Wash and Rhyperior. Those are just a few examples of them, some of the other counters of Talonflame or checks. For example, keeping stuff like Mega Venusaur maybe, or Amoonguss, I don't know, stuff that can beat these guys, are good partners for Talonflame. Even like a Gothitelle that could trap them with Shadow Tag and kill them off with Energy Ball, leading a clear path to victory for Talonflame pretty much. But yeah, overall, there are many possibilities, but just remember, if you decide to build around this Pokemon, number one, use hazards. They're very useful. Residual damage is very important for this Talonflame set to do well. Number two, clear hazards from your own side. I mean, this Talonflame does not appreciate Stealth Rocks no matter what. I'm sure that any Talonflame wouldn't appreciate Stealth Rocks, so yeah, make sure you find a way to get rid of them from your side. Like, I mean, I talked about keeping a defogger if you were just using one Stealth Rocks, so just using like a single layer of hazards like Stealth Rocks, but if you're using multiple layers like Stealth Rock and Spikes or whatever, keep a Rapid Spinner. Those are pretty useful too. Like Excadrill, for example. Excadrill's a pretty good Rapid Spinner overall, and does pretty well with Talonflame. So, yeah. And number three, beat the other threats that Talonflame cannot really beat by itself. Like I said, like Rotom Wash, for example, and Rhyperior are some examples of Pokemon that you should be able to beat with the other Pokemon that you have on your team. And number four, cover its weakness with good type synergy. Talonflame does not appreciate rock type moves, electric type moves, water type moves, so keep Pokemon that can cover those weaknesses. Would be my top 4 suggestions on how to build with this Pokemon. Some of the teammates that you can use, just to think about, And yeah, let's just dive right into some of the calculations. And remember, these are all going to be in the description below, so pretty much, I mean, you can calc anything on your own, but here are some of the calcs that I calced on my own. Let's start off most importantly with Heatran. I looked at a few different kinds of Heatran sets, just like 2 maybe. An offensive one and a more specially defensive one, just to calculate and see the difference of how much damage this Hidden Power Ground will do. And here's what I found out. So, our Talonflame's Hidden Power Ground, attacking a offensive Heatran with 4 specially defensive EVs, just, dumping it there in 4 special defense, just like that. But an offensive Heatran, it's going to do 69.3% to 82%, so it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO even after leftovers. That's a 2-hit KO right there. So if you think Heatran can switch in, go for the Hidden Power Ground, boom, it's dead in 2 hits. That's awesome. And if there's one layer, if there's like Stealth Rocks and a layer of Spikes up, if you have some residual damage, there's a good amount of chance you can just knock that Heatran right off the bat. I mean, there's a 50% chance to knock it out after 1 Stealth Rocks and 1 Spikes from full HP. That's pretty good, in my opinion, especially since this is a Talonflame attacking a Heatran, so you know what I mean. Anyways, okay, so then let's take a look at a specially defensive Heatran. So max HP, max special defensive Heatran. If a Talonflame, I mean, if you don't have any hazards on your side, if Heatran just comes in, especially defensive tank, it's a guaranteed 3-hit KO. It's about 43% to 51.2. I mean, with good damage variation, you could knock it out in 2 hits, but I mean, with the leftovers, it's probably not. However, with, like I said, with residual damage, it's really good. So like after just 1 Stealth Rocks, you have a 47.7% chance of knocking out that Heatran in 2 hits, which is awesome, which is really awesome, because especially defensive Heatran. I mean, you mainly just the 2 kinds of Heatrans you see are the offensive ones and the especially defensive ones, which are pretty much the 2 main Heatrans that are used in today's metagame. And Hidden Power Ground doing that much damage with the residual damage, I mean, that's really good. And yeah, and I was looking at some of the other calculations here. Stealth Rocks and 1 layer of Spikes to the specially defensive Heatran is another guaranteed 2-hit KO. So yeah, so just plain Stealth Rocks by itself is a 47.7% chance of KO, and Stealth Rocks and 1 Spikes is guaranteed 2-hit KO to the specially defensive Heatran. So that's awesome. And this is why residual damage is key. Like if Heatran's already weakened to begin with, and pretty much it's already racked up some damage within the duration of the game, it should be no problem to take out it with Talonflame. And yeah, that's pretty much calculations of Heatran. But yeah, let me just throw out some more calcs out there for you all. Brave Bird calcs. Let's see here. Alright, cool. So this Talonflame here, with the amount of EVs that I've given it, Brave Bird is able to 2-hit KO Garchomp. It should do about 54.7 to 64.5% to Garchomp. It's gonna knock out Keldeo in one hit. I mean, I'm just taking some random common overused Pokemon here and just you know, throwing out some calcs. Yeah, I mean, you can calc any Pokemon you guys want with this Talonflame. There's no problem at all. But yeah, let's see here. It's gonna knock out Keldeo in one hit with Brave Bird. 2 hits. It's gonna take out Mega Charizard X in 2 hits. I mean, Staltox is gonna be 1 hit anyways, but let's see here. Latias is gonna take it out in 2 hits. It's gonna do about 68.5% to 80.4. And let's see, Azumarill. It even takes out Azumarill in 2 hits. That's awesome. So yeah, Brave Bird. I mean, it's gonna be hard to switch into a Brave Bird if you're taking neutral damage. I mean, these are just a few of the many examples, but as you can see, it's really difficult, you know, for these kinds of threats to switch in on a Brave Bird, and it just comes to show how good residual damage is with this Talonflame. I mean, it can put a lot of work for your team. It really can. And you know, now let me give you some Fire Blast calculations. Let's see here. So yeah, let's see. Mega Mawile, it's gonna knock it out in 1 hit. That's a clean 1-hit KO with Fire Blast and Life Orb and stuff. Yep, it's gonna knock out Bisharp in 1 hit. Let's see. Let's check Aegislash here. Hold on. Okay, so Aegislash is going to take about 69.7% to 82.7% from the Fire Blast, which is, I mean, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO in its shield form. However, the bright side, I mean, the bright side is, like, if it's gonna King Shield and you have Flare Blitz, boom, you just lost half of your attack right there. 2 stages of your attack from the King Shield. But with Fire Blast, you don't lose any attack. So, I mean, you can go for a Fire Blast, they can King Shield up, and, you know, you don't have to worry about any attack drops, which is awesome. And let's see, something that's not super effective on it. Landorus, I mean, I talked about Landorus before. The 88 speed was to outspeed, you know, base, what was it, 91, I think? Yeah, base 91 speed Pokemon such as Landorus, Therian. But let's see how much Fire Blast does. Okay, so Fire Blast to a max HP Landorus Therian form does, wow, it does about, yeah, it's a guaranteed 2-hit KO after Stealth Rocks. That's awesome. That's really cool. And yeah, I mean, overall, this is a really versatile Pokemon. And as you can see, this mixed Talonflame set is just, it's going to put in a lot of work if you have the right teammates and the right idea of how to use it. But yeah, again, these are just a few examples of what this bird can do. And if you want to know about how much damage this this thing does to different Pokemon, I mean, just go calculate yourselves. You guys will see how much it does. And yeah, I just thought this was the most appropriate EV spread for this thing as compared to when I first started using it. But you know, I had to like refine it better since I was gonna put it on display for you guys to check it out. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about for this video. This is my first analysis video that I've done on a Pokemon, so I hope you all enjoyed it. And if there's ever any Pokemon that I use in any of my future videos that you're all dying to know about, you know, to use or steal or whatever, you know, just holla at me and be like, yo, MV, what you got in your pockets there? You want to pass me some of that? And I'll be like, yeah, sure, dude, I got you. Stay tuned for the video that's coming up for it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, as like I said, this yeah, like I said, there's a casual PO live coming up real soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed and have a good good night or day or whenever you guys are watching this. I don't know. All right, peace, guys.